cop tries to shame me, I complied with the shame. Note, the story is sad and I have sympathy for the victims, but I don't feel like a bad guy. 2 layers of compliance. Years ago, I lived in a very Hispanic neighborhood, vaguely relevant information, with a lot of young children. They were very loud and screamed constantly during all hours of the day and night. Not just giggle-playing screams but blood-curdling horror screams. All the time. One day I get a knock at my door and see 2 blue-shirt police officers, white guy and Hispanic woman. They ask me if I've seen anything strange, creepers, uncomfortable situations, etc. Things have been pretty normal and say as much. They proceed to tell me that a little girl is missing and if I had heard a scream or struggle. I let them know that the children scream every day and constantly, so I wouldn't have paid attention to any particular scream. That's when the Hispanic officer lost it. She got in my face about racist white males ignoring the plight of Hispanics, not caring about the neighborhood and community, and for not calling the police when I heard a child scream. So, I agreed to dial 911 at every child scream from that point on. Within 3 days I had to call 911 at least 15 times. Each time I explained it was relevant to case #4X with officer, Hispanic lady, that I should report a child screaming in the neighborhood. Eventually I got a call from a superior officer about abusing 911. I agreed and was told to contact Hispanic officer directly with any other information regarding the investigation. Malicious compliance level 2. Now I was authorized to call Hispanic officer directly, day or night, when I had information regarding the investigation. And I did. Every scream, she got a phone call. 2 in the morning and kids are screaming? Guess who else gets to wake up? Morning officer Hispanic lady. She tries to get me in trouble for harassing her, but I had a nice trail of documentation with 911 and her own supervisor to always keep her informed of screaming children. To help everyone feel a little better, the little girl was kidnapped by her uncle and found safely in another state. Some edits to help. I didn't read 800 plus comments, but I'll try to give some more information overall. MC level 1 ended after the first weekend and MC level 2 ended by the second week. More than once, witness car accidents, questions about domestic violence. I've been given direct contact information by officers, though in this case I was given the business contact by the other officer. The white male partner during the initial encounter did nothing. I could only tell he was alive because he blinked. He was a non-issue. I probably was too casual about dismissing children screaming, but it was the officer who decided I was ignoring 911 worthy phone call situations. Quit your witching. Duh, it's malicious compliance, so someone will call fake. I'm not telling a boring everyday story but a once-in-a-lifetime one-off. That's the interesting part. Edit number 2 and hopefully last edition. This was as much a see ya, cover your ass, as it was malicious compliance. I wanted to make sure everyone knew I wasn't indifferent to my neighbors or trouble in the neighborhood. Now to the comments. LOL. A couple weeks back I was woken up by my buzzer going off a little after midnight. I stumbled out of bed. I didn't really want to buzz in whoever was hitting the buzzer at midnight, as I wasn't expecting anyone. I walked out onto the balcony and see the security door propped open. There are a couple women sitting outside on the building next door who tell me that a couple police officers just went into the building. I walked out into the hallway to meet them, where they are standing, talking to my neighbor. They tell us that they got a call because someone heard a woman scream and then a pounding sound and they wanted to check it out. Neither my neighbor nor I have any women in our places, so we're confused. It's at this point that neighbor's 15-year-old son comes and gingerly confesses that he saw a spider, screamed and threw a shoe at it. That reminds me of a story a friend told me the other day. Not sure why, it's barely related. This guy grew up with a few dogs and some birds in a little house in the city, so built very close to the other surrounding houses. These birds were cockatiels and could get noisy, sometimes yabbering on whatever they had heard and could repeat, but generally very smart birds. The guy living in the neighboring house behind used to love playing video games a lot. Specifically Doom, and you would hear this guy, Brad, going at it killing zombies or whatever they are. The birds originally liked to whistle a lot, which Brad didn't like. Occasionally Brad would lose focus on his zombie killing, get fed up and yell as loud as he could, "Shut the duck up." Brad was a lucky bloke and had a nice girlfriend that was sometimes home on these occasions and would tell back at Brad, "Shut up, Brad." Like I said, these were some smart birds, and they caught on quickly. It became quite common to hear an exchange. Bird, whistling. Brad, "Shut the duck up." Bird, "Shut up, Brad." To which Brad's girlfriend and anyone else nearby would start laughing. Brad would get a bit more upset while the birds would continue whistling. This is ducking great. Honestly, I feel this so hard. The kids in my area scream all the time. It wakes me up constantly. And the mothers only communicate by screaming. One woman started screaming at her kids at 7 am. Not yelling, screaming. So loud and incoherent that I woke up mid-panic. When I asked her to stop yelling, she went off on me. It's fucking ridiculous, honestly. Like other people live here. And when I ask her to be quieter, she gets mad at me, because I am scaring her kids. Not her, though. She would never scare them. /sarcasm. Buy an air horn, or 15, so that next time you talk to her, every time she starts screaming at you, you air horn her and tell her you won't accept being screamed at. Even better? Next time she starts yelling, I'm just going to say, "I know about the drugs." She does drugs. If she continues, I'll say, "And I am not afraid to tell the police, she has kids, and I don't think she wants them taken away." That screaming drives me crazy. There's one family on my street that lets their kids scream like someone's getting murdered. It's not extremely often, but every time I hear it, first I have to stop whatever I'm doing and really listen for context, then every time after I question if this is the one time. The parents have been spoken to, very respectfully, and they won't make it stop. That pisses me off too. Those shrill screams are literally a kid's distress call, and I believe we've, as adults, evolved to react with protective aggression. To hear it day in and day out because kids just love to be frickin' loud derails the entire meaning of it. Yeah, I don't understand how no one has taught them that blood-curdling scream is for when Michael Myers is right on your ass. It is not for when you get to first base in kickball. Brass balls you have. Malicious compliance with cops equals 10/10 difficulty level. 7/10. He did say he's white. 5/10. He's a white male. Edit, for all you flabbergasted folks, I was only joking. On a serious note though, do white women really get treated so horribly by police? I've personally never seen anything evidencing this. Does anyone have a link to show me otherwise? Reminds me of a family member who accused me of being racist because I said I can't stand the little shits who live in my townhouse complex. And I wish we lived on the other side of the parking lot because the kids there are so much more well behaved. There is one family with kids on the other side who happen to be white, and 3 on our side, one white family, one black, and one mixed white/Middle Eastern. So, I guess she thought I was just hating on these kids because 2/3 of them are non-white and Muslim. Then she spent a day at my house and got to listen to them scream bloody murder all day and watch them leave their toys and dirty laundry on my lawn. and punch each other in the face while their parents argued about whose fault it was that one of the kids came home with a bloody nose. Meanwhile, the girls on the other side of the parking lot were selling lemonade with their dad. She took it back after that. I bet she wanted some lemonade too. It was really good lemonade. Way back when my sisters and I were kids, my younger sister loved to do that. If my older sister or I teased her and make her mad, she would stand still, raise her face to the ceiling and let out a blood-curdling scream like she was auditioning for a slasher film. This did not amuse our parents, who always told us to leave her alone. One day I was standing in the street in front of my house with another neighbor girl, and I guess her mother, when we heard the scream. The lady pales and looks horrified. She's all omg. What's going on in there? I just laugh and said, oh, my sister always screams like that when she gets mad at us. Not many days later we get a visit from the cops. All three of us were spoken to separately, and then the police went on their merry way. The scream was never heard again.